lights out while the lights are on.
I don't want to sing. I don't want to pout. I'm over here for lights out.
See? He needs to be rapping.
Yeah, Lou. We can start it off with Lou rapping. Are we on? Oh, what's up, y'all? Welcome in. I just haven't seen it yet on Facebook yet. That's all I'm saying, Johnny. Did you share it to mine? All right. Well.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Boom.
Oh.
Roasted.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm not even up. Ain't that something? Anyways, y'all, welcome in to our first live video shoot with Lights Out with Lou Savarese. My boy Grant Miles here. I am Jeff Michael. We are sitting over here, 4215 Bel Air at Fight Fit. This is Lou Savarese's gym, and you've got two of these locations, right?
Yes, sir. One here on 4215 Bel Air Boulevard, and then one downtown at 1612 Austin. That's where most of the pros train downtown.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Why downtown?
It's been there longer, and it's a little bit of a rougher neighborhood down there, and over here it's a little bit bougie in the WU, the West U. You know,
You can't train for fighting appropriately in a situation like this.
you probably could. We don't have any AC down there. We have AC here.
Oh, there you go. So you got to make them earn it.
It's funny you mentioned that because there is there's a thing out right now trying to figure out whether or not fighters, because of all the new technology with training, right? Whether or not they're better now with all the technology than old school training, you know. So are the guys, you know, Rocky IV where he trains in, you know, in the snow and in Russia, whatever, and the other guys got all the equipment, and they're saying that the old school fighters last longer and are, you know, stronger, but yet we have all this technology now. Yeah,
absolutely. The old timers. I mean, you know, think about it. We talked about it before. I think the longest fight in history was almost 600 rounds. I mean, these guys go. So I think there was just an expectancy of how to do it, and they trained so hard. I mean, and they fought so much more frequently, too. You know, guys would fight, you know, 3 times in 1 month at professional fights. So I would definitely say they were in better shape then.
Did you grab Lou's phone and share it? Lou,
no, I didn't.
We need to share it on Lou's.
Hold on.
Lou's, you know.
Lou, your phone looks like this. There you go. Right there.
Thanks, appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Dude, Lou's outfit today is on.
I know. I feel bad.
Point, bro.
I am the best dressed straight guy. I'm done right now.
Best dressed straight guy?
I am. I'm serious.
I mean, your shoes, because y'all can't see this, right? But
he's red out.
Dude, he has got killer shoes on. The jacket, I mean, where at the press conference when he won?
I mean, I was going to wear my jacket, but I just decided not to. I didn't know.
What are we doing again? Hold on, I got to focus.
You got to bring up your Facebook.
Oh yeah, I got it. Facebook or Instagram.
Facebook.
We're on Facebook. Right
Bring
now.
up your Facebook. But and welcome into Lights Out, y'all. Super excited for y'all. Thank you for some of y'all that are already on here. Myself, Grant Miles, Lou Savarese, former champ, and Johnny J sitting over there. Man, I got to tell you something. Remember when we were talking about the karaoke, right? And we brought it up a minute ago. Man, Monday night. That's why I'm sort of still not feeling right. Johnny was DJing at the karaoke spot, Glitter, like I was saying. Oh, man.
Is that the name of it, the karaoke spot?
Glitter, yeah. And I was lit up.
Really? Did you perform?
Yes.
What'd you do?
No. Singing?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, then how'd you perform?
I thought you were going somewhere else.
Did you work the pole? What did you do there? Go ahead. What do you mean you perform? What did you do?
No, I did not.
Is that what you assume performing means? Is doing that?
Not work the pole. Okay. Although, remember, I'm not going to get into my dancing. We already talked about all that. This show is not the Jeff Michael show. Or
It can be. I mean, we can make it that. I'm all for that. There you go. I did it, man.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
I could have did it, but
I could have looked at your phone from like way back here, man.
What are you trying to say?
That font on there.
He's got the font.
You got the large font on the phone.
55 years old. Let's see, man.
No.
You'll be a drooling mess, man.
You're right. I will.
You do look great for 55.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
I mean,
I was going to guess you were 45.
Speaking of you at 55, I don't know if anybody follows Lou on Instagram or Facebook that's just watching this, but Lou did a little modeling shoot this past week.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
he was talking to me about it earlier.
At 55, obviously you look great, but
thanks, buddy.
These are pretty risque photos.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. The photographer's amazing. He's here in town, Jay Rusevich, really cool cat, and he shot me the first time probably in 1989. How long ago that is? That was the first time we did it. Yeah, he's amazing. Does a lot of athletes and stuff, and really cool. I was telling him because I've been fortunate. I shot with a lot of cool photographers, Stephen Meisel, Howard Schatz, and Schatz is like the premier athlete guy. Him and Bruce Weber. But anyway, so I was telling this guy Jay Vucevic about shooting with Schatz, and he said he said, "Oh yeah, the guy's amazing. He's like my idol." I said, "He's probably dead now. I mean, he's like probably in his 80s or whatever." And one of my friends emailed him, and he gave me 2 pictures. He sent me the 2 pictures. Still alive, 81 years old. But it was really cool. I didn't know it. I was this. He had a poster made of me, and he did this thing in Rome. And because I was Italian, he made me like a part of the centerpiece. It was pretty cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
What are some cool photo shoots you've done before?
Well, Stephen Meisel is like a big fashion guy. I got to shoot with him, and then Bruce Weber, who was really another big fashion guy too. But Schatz and Jay here in town. They're like these guys. I mean, like nutty professors, man. They'll make you do something, and then it seems kind of hokey, and then you realize
it looks
it's really
great.
Cool. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I can't like. Yeah, you looked great, Lou. Like, I don't know.
I'm very secure in my sexuality. You say, yeah.
Like,
you think I'm hot? You think I'm hot, man? You're just human.
Yeah, come on, man. Just admit it. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're amongst friends.
No, look, these
We're
days,
friends, man.
these
It's
day and
okay.
age, like, look, I don't know what you identify as, right? So,
Right.
like,
So who knows?
like,
Me neither.
remember,
Whatever.
Lou's gym. You had another gym you were gonna open up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, it wasn't titled. No.
No, you said it this time. I didn't say that.
But again, y'all, welcome into Lights Out. We're sitting up here at Fight Fit with Lou Savarese, and doing this show live. Our first one we're doing live, so welcome, guys. If y'all have a question y'all want to ask Lou and you're paying attention, just ask it, man. We'll see if we can fit it in for you guys. Let's get into some boxing real quick.
And Lou will pretty much answer any question.
I don't know if there's one that he wouldn't.
Right. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ask away.
Truth or dare with
ask away.
Cool. Let's get into a couple of things that happened over the last week or so. Because we had talked previous on an episode before this about Ryan Garcia, who he's going to fight next. Now, we'll get into the Conor McGregor thing here in a little bit, but since Conor McGregor did get knocked out, there was talk that he was going to fight Pacquiao, right? Boxing, he wanted to go in the ring, but now it seems that Ryan Garcia and Pacquiao are set to fight.
Yeah, it seems that one of the things I've heard though through the grapevine is that they're actually talking about it being a exhibition. I don't know why they would do that. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
to me.
why?
Well, they're saying maybe because Pacquiao might be heavier, and what's his name doesn't want to put his record on the line. But I think it would be terrible for boxing if they did that. I mean, the fight would be great. I'd be really interested. I think everybody would be, but if they did an exhibition, I think it'd be really bad.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, so that's what it says. Ryan Garcia's dad, Henry Garcia, is saying the planned 10-round exhibition match against Manny Pacquiao could be at a 143-pound catch weight in April or May.
That's terrible. They should not make. I mean, that's really bad for boxing. I think anyway. Maybe being a old school guy, but
yeah, I don't know.
Well, why would they do that? I mean,
well, what's up with this exhibition shit? Like, I'm sick of it. Like, if you're gonna fight, like, put it in there. Like, I get it. Who do you think if they do fight? Let's just say it's not an exhibition.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Pacquiao fight. He still got it.
Pacquiao's amazing, man. He keeps getting better and better. I mean, he's still, even at this age, he looks great. I mean, he's in shape. He still fights. It should be interesting. It would be a really big test for Garcia. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Really
yeah.
Something.
I mean, if he actually, I don't know if he could lay Pacquiao out. Look, Pacquiao's been knocked down a few times and knocked out, but I mean, if he did win that fight and it was an actual battle and he went in there, it would solidify him as a superstar in boxing.
Yeah, and Pacquiao's going to be coming down. I mean, he'll be a lot bigger and a lot stronger, I would imagine.
Andrew, your boy Andrew just commented. He said Pacquiao would kill him.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, because Pacquiao has aged, right?
Yeah.
And Ryan Garcia, the kid's powerful and he's young.
He's young, yeah.
I think if Pacquiao wins, maybe because it's in the first 6-7 rounds.
Yeah.
But the longer it goes, I think because of Ryan Garcia's age, I think that would give him more of an advantage because he can hit harder in those later rounds.
I think it's a smart fight for Garcia. I really do. I think he beats him, and by winning, I mean you're getting a guy he's not on top of his game. He's older, but he still can fight. But it's a guy you want to get a guy when he's kind of on his decline. That's how a lot of great fighters did it. They get guys on the way down per se.
Why are they doing this? Why are they doing these fights like this? These exhibition,
I
these
have
exhibition
no idea.
fights.
That's horrendous. I hope it's just a rumor or something, but that's terrible. I don't get it from any standpoint any angle. Why does it make sense?
I don't know why it makes sense for Garcia, for either one of them. I don't know what the reason
from
would
a
be.
money standpoint. I mean, this the only thing.
Other than that, yeah.
Well, what it could do is it could stop if they say it's an exhibition. There's no commission. There's no. So I don't know if it's a money thing. I have no idea. I don't know why they would do an exhibition.
Is it just me, or are you like really close?
No, we're really close to one another. Yeah.
I mean, we got a big table over
Yeah,
here.
Johnny.
Are you scared of Lou? What's up?
No, I follow instructions. This is where Johnny told me to be. Johnny said, "Be there."
I'm like,
and so
I feel like
this
we're on
did.
a date over here, and Lou's by himself over there.
Well, I mean, could be
something I said. But
Yeah,
yeah. Like,
we got you. Yeah, it's a jacket, man. The jacket. I like it.
So I think that Ryan Garcia will probably have the edge. We don't want to spend too much time on this because, like you said, we don't know if it's an exhibition yet. They say right now it could be, and it's terrible.
I hope not. That would be so bad for boxing. I mean, it's just
Now, in your division, Joshua and Fury, they're going to sign in the next couple of weeks for a May or June fight.
That's going to be a great fight. Everybody's interested. I mean, this is what boxing needs to be. They've both got to their, their pinnacles right now, and if that's, I think everybody agrees that should be the heavyweight fight right now.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I think
just
that's
hope
the
it's
biggest
not an exhibition.
Well,
the way it's going, who knows?
Who's a bigger draw? Like, who's going to make more money, Pacquiao and Garcia, or Joshua and Fury?
Joshua and Fury. I mean, obviously in the UK is just going to be off the charts, but
they're thinking about the
that's a
fight
good
in like
question.
Dubai or something. But I think both of those fights for boxing would be great financially wise. Instead of these dumbass YouTubers coming in, for those of y'all that are watching, like, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that shit. Like, I'm not. Like, that Jake Paul thing, like, it drives me absolutely insane. And these guys are trying to come in it for money, and it is what it is.
I've never ever heard of a main fight being an exhibition ever. I mean, I've never heard it. I mean, until recently with Roy Jones and Tyson.
Steve came on, Steve Roman, and said Pacquiao has beautiful footwork that allows him to put him in different angles. Plus his speed, he'll dominate or he'll demolish Garcia.
I don't know about that, but he does have great footwork. The one he really impressed me when he beat Ricky Hatton because he showed a lot of diversity. Up until that point, he was just knocking guys out, but he went in there. He knocked Hatton out, but it was just his side-to-side movement was amazing. Pacquiao's a great fighter.
Speaking of Hatton, his son Ricky Hatton Jr. is going to be on one of these cards, and he's going to fight. That's pretty interesting. Apparently, the kid's got a little bit of skills, but obviously, you got to come in. And we talked about these little setup fights, right? I'm sure they're going to give him a few setup fights.
I would imagine. Some guys. I think we talked about it before. The one guy that stands out in my head, that was Holyfield. He fought everybody from day one, but most guys, it's just the nature of the beast.
Yep.
And what's his name too? The guys with the huge amateur backgrounds, Triple G and those guys. I think Triple G's third fight was a championship fight or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what they say on the Joshua Fury fight, both fighters are expected to make $100 million.
Good
Lord.
Lord.
Shit.
I'd fight King Kong Godzilla.
Speaking of people coming out of retirement, because you've mentioned numerous times when you were on the other sports show that we have, and we've talked about it privately, and then you would make a comeback, and it looks like Klitschko is wanting to make a comeback as well. Would you fight Klitschko?
Oh, no, man. I spar with him. They can fight. I spar with both brothers, but Vitaly's stronger physically, but the guy, what's his name? Vitaly and... Come on.
Man, I know what you mean. No, it's talking about Klitschko.
Vladimir is a better
Yeah.
fighter. Vladimir had a better record, and Vladimir is more versatile. So that's who's coming back, right, Vladimir?
Yeah. He's 45, right? So that you're 55, he's 45. I would love to see that card.
Really?
Would that be an exhibition though? Again,
I'm not doing an exhibition.
Yeah,
I'm not doing an exhibition. No, I'm not doing it.
Guys talking shit about exhibitions, then he's going to do one.
If the money's right, $100 million, exhibition.
That's crazy. Exhibition. Exhibition.
When's the last time you put on gloves and hit somebody, hit somebody as hard as you could?
I spar all the time, so.
Oh, and you swing as hard as you can, like at the gym downtown?
No, with the guys, the gym downtown, yeah. I spar with a guy, Nagi Aguilera. He's actually got a big fight coming up. He's a tough kid, and he's a Dominican kid, but he's fighting one of these Russians now, a huge guy, like 6'8" from Kazakhstan. Yeah,
Whoa.
undefeated guy.
That's like a Klitschko.
They're fighting up in Dallas. It's gonna be a good fight.
Let's see. Justin Wright says, Big Lou is the man. Appreciate you, Justin, for paying attention. Brian Sparks. Andrew had another question. They said, Lou, does Joshua just box Fury, or how would you fight this?
That's a great question. I mean, Fury, he's awkward. He's just such a hard guy to fight. He's so big, he's so awkward, and he's pretty fast for his size. I mean, he's a tough guy to fight. I mean, I always think about fighting him. How would you even to get sparring partners that would emulate him? You always want to try and get guys that fight a lot like your opponent, but he'd be a tough guy. But I think Joshua's got to go in there. I mean, we've seen he can go down, Fury, so he's got to try and take him out.
And he doesn't look like your typical boxer, right?
No, he doesn't.
So when you get in a Rhea, you're like, what the hell? But man, he can land. Yeah. Like his punches land, and obviously he's so big, they hurt.
And you can see he's been doing. He's got a really high boxing IQ.
Yeah,
that's been doing this for a long time. His whole family. I think his dad was a fighter too. His dad was talking about fighting Tyson.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I said. His dad was going to fight Tyson.
But yeah, to your point about the training session. Yeah, how do you find a dude that's 6'9"? I mean, how do you go out there and find a dude who's 6'9" to train with?
You can get some guys, but I mean, it's just his style is so different. That's a problem sometimes. People don't realize that that's why in the day, lefties, they couldn't get fights because it was very hard to get sparring because there wasn't that many lefties. Now, with the Eastern European, there's a lot more lefties out there and the Russian guys. So
for those of y'all that don't know, lefties, southpaw.
Yeah, southpaw.
I'm waiting on Grant. Wow. I'm waiting on Grant to talk shit.
No.
Y'all trust me. Grant's got some shit up his sleeve. He always does. Every time we do this,
I just play it by ear. I just go with the flow of the game.
Yeah, sure. My ass.
I just read the strike.
That's right.
Something's coming. So we'll move on from some heavyweights. Another bit of boxing information. Teofimo Lopez and George Lopez. It's been ordered by the IBF that they have to fight now.
Wait, George Lopez is a comedian, isn't he?
No. Maybe I had the George Lopez. No, I mean, he is a comedian, but
this gonna be an exhibition.
I met him one night, man. I was running a club called 2610 by the Galleria over here, and man, we sat down and had drinks. He's a weird character. He's a very weird individual.
Really?
It wasn't too nice.
Oh, really?
We went next door. We had a couple of drinks and shots at the club, and he wanted to get some food. And there was a Mexican restaurant right next door where we were in the Galleria, and we went over there and had a margarita. And I swear to you, he just stared at me for like 20 minutes. Like I might have said 2 sentences to him, but I'm sitting here with George Lopez, so cool.
Right. Be
like,
funny.
Yeah,
dude.
be funny. Like say something. But man, he just never said shit.
You probably should put your pants on.
So let me ask you that. So I'm gonna go off what you're talking about. Yeah. What's the strangest interaction you've ever had with a celebrity?
With
a celebrity, just strange.
He already knows, right off the bat.
No, I boxed Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah, we heard about
cool.
this.
Yeah, I boxed Harry Connick Jr. So that was it.
I asked you if you knocked him out. Did you?
What's that?
Did you knock him out?
No. I tried to go really easy with him, and I gave him a little black eye. It was funny.
That's right, the concert.
Yeah, then with the concert, and then it was cool enough. He about 7 months went by, and he had my beeper number. That's how long ago it was.
Damn.
And I got a beep from the David Letterman show, and I called up. I thought it was my friend messing around, and it turned out it was him. And I went on a double date. He was dating his wife at the time, and it was one of her friends. It was fun. Really cool spot.
Now, I can see he's probably pretty athletic.
Who?
Harry?
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't a great boxer, but probably he was a very good boxer.
Does athleticism transfer into boxing?
Yes, it does. But I mean, some guys
because we just talked about Fury, right? He doesn't look like you throw a football down the field, and can he catch it? Maybe not. Yeah, but he can beat the shit out of you.
What about the guy that knocked out Joshua? I mean,
it wasn't Garcia. Guy. Yeah,
Wilder, wasn't it?
No.
No, the heavy set.
Yeah, heavy set. That's a nice way to put it. I think he was big boned. No, he was fat.
He was rotund.
He was fat.
He's rotund.
That's what I've heard before. Rotund. I didn't know that word. So, but yeah, I think that's a good question about athleticism. I mean, you hear about it all the other time, and you see, but then you got a guy like a Tyson Fury, like a Babe Ruth, somebody that doesn't look like your typical athlete in that profession, and they end up doing
like
a good
Roy
job.
Jones. I always said he was an amazing basketball player. The guy was an amazing athlete. He's one of those guys that could have played a lot of other sports.
Your key word was Adonis.
Adonis.
That's what you call Roy. He was an Adonis.
He was amazing. When we were living in the Olympic Training Center, he came out there, and he was just like a phenom. He was this young kid that was just...
I used to love watching Roy.
Yeah, you couldn't hit him. I mean, you could not hit him.
Yeah, and he would just back up and dancing and doing all his, his crazy footwork and and then he would do the Ali shuffle and then just pop. And people don't give Floyd Mayweather enough credit for his defense.
I put him top 5 ever, and that's a
massive
he's
compliment.
one of the best. Yeah, I mean, he's amazing.
What in that top 5 would you put him?
I'd probably put him number 5. I think number 1, everybody would agree, would probably be Willie Pep. There's a guy, a lot of people, I think the most underrated fighter ever, probably number 2 would be a guy named Orlando Canizales. But the guy was amazing. He defended his title 6 times, but he was one of the quickest movers. Camacho, too. I put Camacho
Hector.
3 or 4. He was really good. And then maybe Mayweather 4 or 5, and let me think who we put else in there. Willie Pep, I said number 1. Let's think about this. So,
Tyson brought up a good point on his podcast about Mayweather. There's fighters that have been like 72 and like 2.
Yeah.
So just because Mayweather's 50-0, never been his knee went to the canvas one time, and never been beaten. So you can't put him up there as the greatest ever. Tyson's like, people have won way more fights than you. Like, there's been 50-0 fighters before. But once they get to 60 or something, they lose one.
But it's a sign of the times, too, though, because don't forget, guys aren't, I think with CT and stuff, I don't think it's possible, and it's probably not that good for them to be fighting, 2 or 3 times in a month. I mean, guys would fight, that's how it was. I mean, they'd fight. I think so.
Andy Ruiz, by the way.
Andy Ruiz. Robinson and LaMotta, I think, fought 5 times. I mean, these guys would just fight, back to back. How many pro fights did the greatest fighter ever? People would agree is probably Sugar Ray Robinson. And how many fights did he have? I think he had something like 147, maybe. Or something.
Yeah.
And you told me that Holyfield has hundreds. Like, he just fought.
Well, yeah, no. Holyfield had a lot of amateur fights. I mean, he was crazy. He fought Holyfield. He was one of the few guys that did it the old-fashioned way. They didn't have that much invested in him because he had lost in the. He got disqualified in the Olympics for hitting the guy after the bell. It was terrible. So they got him for next to nothing. The guy who signed him, and he just fought everybody from day one.
Sugar Ray had 200 fights.
Wow.
173 and 19.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
And he fought in the greatest era of welterweights, middleweights, and he went all the way up to, he would have won. He fought a light heavyweight. He was about to win, and he got, it was just so hot that he got dehydrated and lost, but I can't remember who it was. He had the guy beat. It was a light heavyweight, too.
Peter Belmont said, "What's up, Lou?" He's,
hey, buddy.
He's watching the show right now.
How you doing, man?
Steve Roman wants to know, in your opinion, who's the best lightweight
right now?
Yes, sir.
That's a good one. So there's a lot.
I don't know the classes. Like, is that Ryan Garcia's class?
Yeah, it could be Garcia. Yeah, but I wouldn't put him
I've
back.
seen there's like 4 or 5 guys that are really good.
There's a guy right here in town I love. It's Regis Prograis. I think he's got 1 loss, and it was very, 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 very close fight, and he's amazing. I said Prograis.
According to the BoxRec.com, which they say is the official record keeper, they have the lightweight. Of all the rated boxers, the highest that's a lightweight is Teofimo Lopez. That's how they have him, as that lightweight.
And that's what we were discussing a minute ago, because now that he's been ordered by the IBF.
But they have him number 1, Lopez?
Well, they have him. Amongst all the weight classes, they have him ranked 9th, but he's the highest rated
Who's
lightweight.
ranked 1?
Number 1 is Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, Canelo's getting better and better every fight.
So when they do this, right? Yeah. So Floyd Mayweather can't be ranked because he's retired, right? So when do you come out of retirement and when do you get ranked? Like when you go back into boxing.
When you're currently fighting, I'm not going to rank you if you're not currently fighting. I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, that just boxing, man. There's so many weight classes and so many rules and so many belts and so many things.
It wasn't always like that. I mean, that's just they call it the alphabet soup, and it's getting a little bit better now. It used to be. I mean, when I was fighting, there was like, 4 or 5 different belts in each weight class.
We'll move on to a little bit of what happened this past weekend with Conor McGregor, and the reason I want to bring it up because it does translate into boxing because of all this crossover that they're all trying to do. I didn't pay for this fight because I didn't really give a shit about it, honestly. Yeah. Conor, I didn't expect him to get knocked out, but he got. No. I mean, the MMA fighters, or UFC fighters, whichever way you want to look at it, are turning into boxers more. Like the grappling style is kind of going away, and so that's why they're trying to box.
It's the powers that be. They've been doing it for a while now. They don't find it aesthetically pleasing people to see too. Just guys doing there is an art to it, but it just doesn't seem that people like that. So they started probably 5 years ago where they would actually pay guys a lot more money. I knew guys that actually made more money on getting the knockout of the night than they did on their purse. because the fight of the night. So they wanted you to get knockouts. You get more money if you get a knockout than choking the guy out per se.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly where UFC wants it, right?
Yeah,
You want
absolutely.
knockouts.
That's what they want. Yeah, it's what the people want to see. They don't want to see.
And Conor got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, well, he got also what happened with him was
his leg, right?
Yeah, I did a lot of Muay Thai, and that's one of the hardest things to do is get conditioned for a leg kick. I mean, get kicked in the shin, and I got kicked one time, and I mean, there's nothing you do. It's like a dead leg. It's crazy. I had heard about it, but it happened.
It just hit you in the right spot. Is that what it is?
Yeah. I have a friend here in town. He's was probably the best American Muay Thai fighter. His name is Chase Corley. He's actually the head of USA Muay Thai because they're talking about making Muay Thai a Olympic sport. So he'd be the coach. But he kicked me one time right there, and I was like, damn, man. I tried to fake
So
it.
if we box him, well, we wouldn't box. I'd do UFC so I could kick you.
Oh, dude, I don't care.
Oh, please. I want to see that.
I'll do it.
Please. I want to see you kick Lou.
I'll beat you like a redhead. Oh, God.
Let's do that.
I will beat him like
Let's
a
set
redheaded
that-
stepchild, man. Oh, my God.
Let's set that up.
Dude,
I'm
I'm
down
down.
for that.
Oh, my God.
I'm down for that. I'm on Lou's corner on that.
I'm
one.
not.
sorry.
It's not going to be an exhibition.
This is like my professional record. That sucks.
Well, hey, look, can I call your brother and get the scouting report?
Oh
Yeah.
shit! No, look, the scouting report.
Lights out.
I could tell you one punch down. There's the scouting report. There you
Man,
go.
look.
Boom. Scouting report
He fought his
done.
bureau to a draw. What are you talking about? Yeah.
What?
Nah, they say he fought his bureau to a draw. I used to live in Manhattan, right on the other side of the Brooklyn Bridge, and there was this little bookie. His name was Tootie Bones. He was like 5'2", 300 pounds. And every time he'd see me, he'd say the same thing. He'd say, hey, kid, you're the fighter? I go, yeah. He goes, I fought my bureau to a draw. I was like, oh, my God. Yeah, the first 20 times it was funny.
How old were you?
I was 22 or 23. I was living in Lower Manhattan. And Tootie Bones was a bookie, and his claim to fame was he had the highest blood sugar in the whole building. It was like a Billy. I'm not kidding. This place was like a Billy Crystal movie. It was all old Jews and Italians. It was hilarious. Oh my God, it was so funny.
How often do you have people talk shit to you when you were growing up?
Not much.
Well,
What's the dumbest thing anybody, like if somebody said, like what are some things that people said to you? Because I'm sure somebody like you, people want to like start.
Nah, that's not true. No,
I'll kick Lou. That's about the dumbest shit you can say.
Yeah.
no,
You're doing good so far.
No, we did not too many people talk too much shit.
No?
Nah, because they can tell it. I mean,
How about in the ring?
In the amateurs, I fought this one guy, John Pecora. I remember he was banging his head against the locker or whatever, that's so stupid. And then I fought a guy in Louisiana where when I first started, the guy was doing push-ups right before the fight, like looking at me doing push-ups.
In the ring?
Yeah, what an idiot. No, he was doing it before we were going in.
Oh, okay.
Room, yeah.
What was your walk-in song?
I like John Travolta a lot, like that one song they did to a rap.
You're the one that I want. Yeah.
No, not that one. No. Staying alive.
Play the Grease soundtrack while you're walking in?
Staying alive.
It would be that now.
Then Mama said knock you out. What else, man?
LL, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Maybe we should put some of that. Like Johnny, we'll work on that this week for the
ABBA, Dancing Queen. Dancing Queen was fierce. I'm
Nice.
joking about that.
Nice. No, that'd be
I
good.
didn't like ABBA.
No, but we could do like Grease and you could go in like they do in the musical where you're like, that'd be awesome. You could do
I
that.
got you.
Exactly.
They're multiplying.
Yeah. You know the song. That's good. Let's keep going. I like it. Keep going.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Yes.
And
I remember
I'm losing control.
when we had my first son, my wife, so I didn't go out. I wouldn't do anything because I was so nervous. And then finally my buddies got me to go out there. And I went out and my wife goes, I think I'm having a baby. I'm like, oh my God. She goes, where are you? I said, I'm at the gym. And she's like, what? You're not at the gym? I said, I'm at the gym. She goes, they don't play Dancing Queen at the gym. I was like, oh shit. She goes, sorry. Anyway.
So
It
you
was
never
always
walked
at the
into
gym.
Dancing Queen.
What? No. I was just kidding about that.
It'd been great if you did. That would have been awesome.
Dude, I've got so
Get
many
the guy's
things
head.
going through my head right now for the show.
I just wouldn't want to know what's the guy waiting up in the ring and you come in with Dancing Queen, what he'd be thinking. Like, man, this is gonna be
I have no
fun.
idea.
Does a song? Okay, so you've been in packed arenas, right?
Yeah.
Does a song influence like the way you think going right before the bell rings, or is it that's just all for show?
It's all for sure. I mean, you're especially the higher level you get. I mean, that's it all comes down to hitting the guy and you not getting hit, or vice versa.
Gotcha. One more question before we get into Grant's history and we bring up some stuff, some birthdays and some history. The state of boxing right now, because of all the crossover and stuff like that, what's your opinion on where it's going?
I have mixed emotions on that because I get a little bit. I'm a boxing historian, a boxing purist, and I hate to see guys like this thing about exhibitions or Tyson doing a 2-minute round. That really was terrible. I mean, I think anyway that they shouldn't have did that. It just takes away from boxing. But on the flip side, all these YouTubers or whatever, but it is bringing a lot of attention to boxing. So it's kind of hard for me, I mean, and that's really important, So that's why I love when I hear a fight like Joshua and Fury. 'Cause that's what's supposed to happen, And even Garcia and Pacquiao. That's interesting. It's a good fight. I just don't want it to be for an exhibition.
I hope that these guys. I mean, look, if they bring enough attention, and we've talked about this off camera. If they bring enough attention to boxing and money and the sport, gets its recognition and you can get those fights, I'm all for it. These guys are eventually going to weed themselves out, right?
I was just going to say the same thing. Great mind, think alike.
Yeah. See, man, I got a compliment from Lou. I'm doing good today. I'm on
I haven't got mine yet. I'm working for it.
All right, speaking of Grant, look,
we're speaking of me.
We're sitting over here at Savarese Fight Fit at 4215 Bel Air with Lou Savarese. Welcome into Lights Out. Appreciate all y'all paying attention. Your questions, I'll get to them when I can. For Lou and for ourselves, you want to ask us some questions? I don't know why, but we're here anyways. But let's get into some history. Grant, what you got?
Well, first, before we get to history, just want to say I know we haven't done this on the live stage. Talk about your gym, Savarese Fight Fit. It's a great gym, man.
Thank you,
I know we say it every time we come in, but it's just like the whole setup. Everything's fantastic.
It's cool. It really is. It's really neat. I mean, they have it's not your average boxing gym. I mean, it's really, the whole setup's cool. We have 2 rings. We have one up front we had to take it down for the COVID, but it's coming back, and that's for the kids. But it's really neat. I mean, it's real cohesive in this part of the room we're in right now. It's got weights. It's really something I've never seen a boxing gym this nice.
No, and so for the people that are watch or listen, it's not a boxing gym. It's a gym that kind of goes around boxing, but it's got a lot, like you said, weights, and y'all got workout classes and all kinds of things.
We do. We have. I teach the class twice a week, and that's just train like a pro, and I run it just like you're a pro. It's at 5:45. They get in with jump rope, shadow boxing, and then now some of the guys are sparring with me. It's really cool.
Bro, you get up too early, man. Like, dude, what time do you wake up? At 4:30.
Yeah, easy. I'm so used to I run. I've been running at 5 in the morning for like three-quarters of my life, so I'm so used to doing it.
Real quick, Justin Wright says, nice show. Us Greenwood Lake boys know Lou beat Foreman.
Wow. Greenwood Lake.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's old school, man.
Yeah, so you got to.
My man.
Yeah, it says they said that you beat Foreman.
That's where most of my fights happen, in Greenwood Lake. I was I probably had about 80 to 90 street fights in Greenwood Lake.
That was Justin Wright. And
I bounced. I was a bouncer there at a biker bar called Gildersleeves. That was fun.
Yeah, we heard. I saw a story. What was the guy's name that we called the Great White Hope?
Jerry Cooney.
Yeah,
that's
Jerry
my
Cooney.
buddy.
Yeah, man. I was reading.
I talk to him almost every day.
I was reading a bio on him earlier this morning, man.
He's a great guy.
Golly, he's got an incredible story.
He does, and
incredible.
The coolest thing about Cooney was too that people say. I'm a big boxing historian. I love talking to guys in the gym, and they say he was the hardest puncher ever, even over Tyson.
We'll have to call him. Maybe we'll call him next week. We have some people here.
Yeah, he's great.
So for those of y'all that don't know that are watching right now, man, I appreciate all y'all watching. We're sitting over here with Lou Savarese. We're going to do this every Wednesday night. We'll have our live show, and it'll be up on the podcast Thursday morning for all of y'all that don't see it on video. You can catch it on audio on the podcast and what you got going on. But let's see what you got, Grant.
My turn.
Yeah, Grant's turn.
So yeah, man. So for those that are watch or listen, what we do is we kind of one of the things that Lou likes to talk about old school boxing, old school boxers, and so we like to talk about
before exhibitions.
Yes, before exhibition. Correct. This week, as far as boxing history goes, there's all kinds of history. There's birthdays, all kinds of things we talk about. So just Lou get an opportunity to talk about it. So I always enjoy this segment. So we'll start off January 24th, 1976. Wow. Former heavyweight champion George Foreman KOs Ron Lyle in 5th round at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. Foreman, it says, was knocked down twice in the 4th.
I was just going to say that does no justice. One of the fiercest fights ever. I mean, they knocked each other down. It was a battle. If anybody can watch that, it's amazing.
Pull it up.
People say Lyle was probably one of the top 5 hardest punchers ever. I mean, they just And Foreman in his younger days was just a beast. I mean, he couldn't go. The knock on him was he couldn't go, 5 or 6 rounds. That's why Ali did the rope-a-dope. But that was a fierce fight, man. I mean, it was crazy.
The Ring called it the fight of the year.
Yeah, it was.
You're saying the thing with Foreman is you couldn't last 4 or 5 rounds because he was so hard.
No, he didn't. That was his thing. That's why Ali did the rope-a-dope. I mean, he wouldn't, because he'd throw his punches so hard. He had no jab when he started. He was just a big, strong.
It didn't matter if you blocked it. You just got shook.
Yeah, but then, fast forward when he fought me and came back, he looked like Abdul the Butcher, but he could do 15 rounds in his sleep. He was just because he was so calm and relaxed. It was really
according to the Greenwood, what was it? Yeah,
Greenwood Lake.
Greenwood Lake, you won that fight.
Thank you, buddy. You might be a little biased, but I appreciate that. But it was a close fight. I thought maybe I won, but it was close. Could have won either way.
When you're done with a fight like that and you feel, obviously you're going to be biased towards yourself and how you are, but what is it about when you're done with a fight like that you say, I won, I should win that? What was it about that fight that made you feel that way?
Well, I mean, I definitely thought I won. I landed more punches. I mean, that's that's not a gray area. I did land more punches. They have a punch count. I landed more punches. But as a fighter, you're fighting a guy, George Foreman. I was a new guy coming up.
Yeah,
you have to beat him, handily.
Handily, yeah. So there is that in boxing, right?
Absolutely.
They don't want to see you beat Foreman because that fucks up the ratings, and money and everything.
Yeah, and he had a big fight after that. I can't remember who they had somebody already scheduled. So that's important. So you have to beat the guy handily. It's always been that way in boxing. You got to beat the champion handily. And he became the lineal champ.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
When he knocked out, who did he knock out? He knocked out Michael Moore.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. January 20th. So we go next. January 25th. I know you always like to talk about this. January 24th, January 25th, 1939. Joe Louis KOs John Henry Lewis in the first round for a heavyweight boxing title.
Wow. John Henry Lewis. Yeah, Joe Louis was, people say probably one of the best heavyweights, a real gentleman and great fighter. Wasn't a huge guy, but he was just, his balance, everything, he was amazing.
I think you've said before, we just talked about Sugar Ray Robinson. That's your idea of one of the best boxers ever? Sugar
Robinson, yeah. I think most fight historians would say that. The guy was just amazing. He was, his balance, everything. He just could do stuff.
Hey, speaking of balance, Ed Guido right here said...
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, you know a question's coming. It says, I swear to you.
Guido.
Listen
That's my cousin.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is his question.
He had a lot of fights, too. He never won one, but... no, but he was in it. He started the most fights in the history.
Yeah, there you go. He says, ask Lou who the best dancer he ever saw.
He was the best white break dancer I've ever seen. I give him that. Yeah.
So
appreciate you watching, Ed.
So is Ed?
That's my cousin Guido.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we were on the show, Laura's like, you have a cousin Guido? I said, yeah, man. Anyway, I talked about him, but he was a good break dancer. I'll give him that. That's all he had.
Yeah, Steven, kind of to your point, what you were talking about earlier, Steven Roman. And I know Steven's kind of a little amateur boxer around here in Houston. Real good guy. He's saying sometimes you have to fight the judges plus the fighter.
Yeah, you do.
He said he met you in the Catskills.
Who's that? Steve or Guido?
No, I'm sorry. Peter Belmont did.
Oh, yeah. Well, I used to train. That's right, because I was a real boxing historian. That's where all the old-time fighters used to train. So I trained up in the Catskills. They called the Jewish Alps.
Jewish Alps. Woo!
Nice.
Or the Borscht Belt, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah? See, we learn all kinds of things.
The funniest thing I've ever heard, the funniest thing I ever heard ever was there. There was a guy, it was this it's called Kutcher's Resort, and there was this guy, Crazy Tyrone. He was a phenom. He was this little skinny Jewish guy. And he beat me in ping pong. I'm pretty good. He beat me with a pair of sunglasses. He beat the junior amateur tennis champion with like an old wooden racket. It was crazy. This guy would do
ping pong?
No, he beat him in tennis.
Oh, in tennis.
He beat him in tennis, and he was just like this. Would do the craziest things. He would give you $1,000 if you last with him. I think it was like 3 minutes if you last with him. And Simon Says he would do all this weird stuff. Man. It was this dude was crazy, man. He'd make half-court shots. This little skinny Jewish guy, and it was amazing. But so all my friends would get to know him because they come up there and see me train. Yeah. I had cut a deal with the hotel. They would let me train for free and everything, and they would sell tickets to the fights and to the sparring sessions and stuff. But this Crazy Tyrone he was just like phenom. And then all my buddies called me up one day. He was they did a full-page article in the New York Times talking about how he was one of the best tennis players in the country. I didn't know any of this. And he had suffered from depression. He had to leave. So anyway, I just assumed he might have been dead or whatever. And fast forward 10 years later, I'm in Bryant Park where they have the fashion show, and I'm skating. My son's skating, my little guy, and my other little guy runs off, and I go looking for him, and he was probably 6 years old, 7 years old. He goes, Daddy, there's some guy beating everybody in ping pong with a 2x4. I'm like, no, it can't be. It can't be. And I walk over, and he sees me. He doesn't even acknowledge me. We're good friends. He goes, Moon River, because that was the punchline to the joke we liked. Yeah. It was crazy. And I saw him there. It was nuts. With a 2x4. He beat those guys. He was just a phenom.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sitting here looking at the show.
Hold on. That's where Dirty Dancing was filmed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yep. Right up there in the Catskills.
And I got to say, Lou, like, the
Hold
jacket.
on. I missed I got off on a tangent. I do that once in a while. Hold on. So anyway, the funniest thing ever, we're walking through this place, and the joke is it's where Jews go to die. It's like all old people, right? So me and Tyrone are walking through the place, and there's some old lady. She was like 104, and she's sitting there, and she's kind of like drooling. And Tyrone stops mid-walk and goes, "Hey, lady, Moses says you are a good shtup." I think that's funny. Moses says you are a good shtup. That means she said, yeah. That was the funniest thing I ever heard.
I like that.
Man.
Dude, I laughed. That was
dude, I got so much. Like,
see, that's why this is fun. This is why I like this. This is good stuff. I like that.
That was the funny thing I ever heard.
I don't think I like that, Moses. That's good.
Jarrell Bulware says, Big Lou.
Get out of here, bro.
Yeah, he's saying what's up.
Man. His dad was a great fighter, man, from Harrisburg. Good-looking guy, too, man. That's nice. Cool, man.
Speaking of, I was about to say, like, you interrupted me with your joke, but the Stuck joke.
But it was good, though. I'd much rather heard your joke than whatever he was about to say.
But like the jacket that Lou's wearing is pimp. Like, I don't know.
It looks great.
I'm looking at it on the camera, and I'm like, damn, Lou, like, I got to dress up next week.
I know. I just wore a T-shirt. I don't know what we were doing.
Yeah, we going out? You taking me to dinner?
Well, this dude's doing like personal.
It's our first show. I wanted to,
It looks great. It looks great.
Yeah.
This dude did a photo shoot. So, I mean,
If you want to see Lou without the jacket on or the shirt, go to his Instagram. It's either laugh or give him a compliment. One or the other.
Correct, yes. Yeah. Laugh at your own will.
I think one of them, you're on a bicycle, like almost naked or something. What? I don't know. Go look at his Instagram.
I missed that picture.
That was not a bicycle.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a bicycle?
That was on Tinder.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Got to get focused.
Can you imagine, like, if you're like scrolling through like Tinder and there's Lou, like,
naked riding a bike.
Screenshot that, like.
It wouldn't be a bike. It would be a tricycle, brother.
Oh, that would be even better.
That'd be fierce.
That'd be great.
All right, the greatest thing I saw in New York, they had the gay parade every year. For Halloween, and I'm not kidding. I saw a guy in a tutu riding like a 10-foot tricycle. It was unbelievable.
Oh, one of those big
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, wearing a tutu. It was really cool.
You should. I want to see you in a tutu.
No, I'm good. You don't want to see that. I'm telling you.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna go next. We're gonna go back to this.
Yeah, let's go.
January 27th, 1954. Archie Moore beats Joey Maxim in 15-round unanimous decision to retain his world light heavyweight boxing title at the Orange Bowl in Miami. It was the last of famous trilogy of fights, all won by Moore.
And they don't know Moore to this day. People don't know how old he was. So there's rumors that he was fighting into his late 50s. You know, they don't know. Moore was. They called him the Mongoose. He did a lot with Foreman on. Remember that weird style Foreman had on his comeback. He would put his hands like that. Yeah. That was all scripted by Archie Moore. And Archie Moore, he was the one who made him, get a jab.
Yeah, he would go like this.
Cover
up and duck down.
Yeah, that was Archie Moore. It was called the Mongoose, and he would do that. And he scripted Foreman's really whole comeback from a technical boxing standpoint.
Your cousin's talking more shit. What should I say?
Oh God! So when he's talking shit when his lips are moving. Yeah. Ask him the time when we were down.
You ask him. It's easy.
Oh, okay. And the Jersey Shore when I paid the DJ to. Announced, Ed Guido, please come to the DJ's booth. We found your ass. Because guy's got like ass cancer. He's got no ass whatsoever. He's like he could be the greatest illusionist ever. I'm serious. Forget about David Blaine. Forget about David Copperfield. This guy with clothes on looks pretty good. Oh my God, he takes his clothes off. He looks like the Grimace. Yeah,
whoa, bro!
Don't mess with me, Guido.
Yeah. I mean, all he said was take your mouthpiece out. I can't understand you.
That's the bad thing. I'm like one of the world's foremost linguists, but nobody can understand me.
No, I love it. I love it.
I understand every word you say.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Speak
You're bilingual.
See, I've got you now. See, that's what I took it away.
Guido should be. He's a plumber. He's got probably.
Tell him to come. Is he in Houston?
No.
Okay, he's in New York.
He's in New York. Yeah.
Yep.
He's a plumber.
Man, if we ever get the chance, and hopefully we do, like we take the show to New York. Now that would be unbelievable.
That'd be fun.
That would be awesome.
We'd have
Some
a blast.
characters there.
Look forward to it. That's the goal.
All right.
Same day, January 27th, this kind of 1992, Mike Tyson goes on trial for rape.
Yeah.
That was
Okay. That would be like taking me to the best Italian buffet ever and expect me not to eat. Why would you bring Mike Tyson to a beauty pageant? Dude, no, I'm serious. Could you think of something more stupid?
No, like especially back then. Like I mean,
oh my God! I'm like, what are you kidding me?
Right.
Oh, shocking! What the fuck? Oh, excuse me.
no, like,
That was the
it's
stupidest
called
thing
lights
ever.
out.
Yeah,
You can say that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you bring Tyson to it. That was really
But
smart.
and we
Good
talked
move.
about this.
And he was a judge.
And we talked about this.
Yeah, I know. That's what he made
He
it
just,
work.
wanted, he just wanted to check it a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to get a good feel for things.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. So for those of y'all that don't know, we've already done 2 shows, but they weren't live, and we're gonna have them up on our podcast tomorrow. So y'all look out for Lights Out with Lou Savarese on your podcast. It'll be all up tomorrow afternoon. But we talked about Mike Tyson getting, even though all the stuff happened to him, yeah, maybe he did some fucked up shit, but the Oprah interview, you even said like he got just destroyed. Like there, like I mean, if you go back and look at that, he just looked.
That was
like,
with him and Robin Givens
Yeah.
and her mom. It was, and Ruth Roper, she's most known for suing David Winfield for giving her herpes.
Yep. That's
That's true.
Robin Givens' mom.
welcome to Lights
Ruth
Out
Roper.
with Lou
Yeah.
Savarese.
That's right. You're gonna learn some shit.
You're gonna learn some shit.
That's a true story.
That's
True
the
yeah,
motto.
absolutely.
That's
Look it up
the
last
motto
time.
for the show.
Yeah.
Lou Savarese, like that. You're gonna learn some shit.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah. No, you'll learn something. I learn something every time we leave this show. I learn something.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
January
That's it for
29th, 1994, Frankie Randall
Yeah, what a
beats
fight.
Mexican boxing legend Julio Cesar Chavez by split decision to win the WBC super lightweight title at MGM Grand. Chavez's first knockdown of career and 11th and first
They used
loss.
to call Randall the surgeon, I believe. That was like his nickname, or a doctor. He could fight, man. That was a really big upset. That was Chavez's first loss. Chavez was just he was amazing. The guy, he was just one of the toughest dudes. He wouldn't, when he was training, he wasn't a runner. He would just spar like 20 rounds, and he would put his face in pickle brine, and it would make his face was like leather, man. It was crazy.
Put his face in
Yeah,
pickle juice.
brine. Yeah, pickle juice, and it would make his like his face like leather. If you ever, it was crazy. He wouldn't cut anything.
Who told him that was a good idea? I mean, does it
a lot
work?
of guys did it. Yeah, I think it just make the brine and the salt. It makes it really tough.
Oh, I can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that.
No, look, he's
I had my
still pretty.
no,
like
I had
like
my
you do
modeling
that.
career, dude. I can't.
Yeah,
Just,
exactly.
That's right.
when
That's
you
a good
have dry
point.
skin.
Lou's modeling career at 55 is taking off.
Yes, it
like,
is.
Y'all go to
I'm
his
going to be on the
Instagram,
cover of Field and Stream coming up soon, and then I got 2 big sponsors, Depends and Geritol. They're gonna be right,
Hey, if they're paying, it don't matter, right? If they're paying, it don't matter, for sure. Let's see. You want to talk a little UFC?
Sure, let's go.
January 29th, 2019, in the aftermath to a wild ending to UFC 229, Khabib and Conor McGregor are issued fines and suspensions.
Oh, is this when he threw
they kept fighting.
Bans retroactive to October 6, 2018.
Yeah.
And see, this goes back to me earlier in the show when I was saying with Conor McGregor, like, it sucks that he got knocked out because a lot of, like, it messes up a lot of future fights, a lot of things. Like,
Go backwards, go to that Khabib fight, and I was talking to a lot of UFC guys. My gym downtown has a lot of UFC guys, and I was talking to them, and I didn't know much about it. They all were saying this guy Khabib is the real deal, and he's going to beat McGregor. And the reason why I truly believe that happened was because McGregor was getting too big for the brand. UFC is really, they don't want anybody to be bigger than the brand. They're all about the brand, and it really works from a business standpoint. But I really think that was, here's a guy, he was just getting bigger and bigger. He was talking about leaving the UFC and fighting and boxing, whatever. So I think they really set him up with this guy Khabib to lose the fight. And he did.
Why are people trying to go and do? You're going from the UFC to boxing. There's more money, or there was up until McGregor Mayweather, right? There's more money in UFC. Why would you transfer over to that? Now, Conor McGregor, you can talk all the shit you want about him. Marketing wise, the guy's a genius.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a genius. He knows how to do his shit. And I just don't understand why these fighters want to go to boxing. there's all the money is still in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess because of the crossover, it becomes more of a spectacle, or from not a bad term, but it becomes more people want to look at it. I mean, if you had two average fighters that weren't top guys, nobody's going to pay to see that. It's just that these guys are tops of the game in both sports.
Well, and maybe just as a competitor, just like, okay, I've kind of done what I can on UFC. Let me go try something else. I mean,
I think it's more the spectacle of and saying which is. What's the toughest, or guy, a boxer or a UFC guy?
Yeah, well, that's what's interesting is this cross action, and I don't necessarily know if I like it. January 30th, WBC Super Welterweight Champion Wilfred Benitez of Puerto Rico defeats boxing legend Roberto Duran in a 15-round unanimous decision.
It was a warrior. Benitez was a beast, man. Really, really.
15 rounds. See, like they just beat the shit out of each other.
He was really tough. Benitez was really tough. And
what was the worst beating you took?
Let me think about that. Probably Foreman, I think.
Foreman?
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, Foreman. Michael Grant too. I got headbutted really bad in the Grant fight, and he was a big dude, like 6'8", and I shouldn't have took that fight, and I took it because they paid me a lot of money, but I wasn't going to take the fight because my shoulder was messed up. So I took a pretty good beating there too.
I'll ask you this question for people that haven't seen your other show, like with us, or because a lot of people want to know who was the hardest hitter. You fought Holyfield.
I'd say
Tyson,
Bo, man.
Foreman.
But Bo had fought in the amateur sparring. Like the Bo could just, he'd walk up and say, "Hey man, what's up?" Like, he just had heavy. There's different guys like Tyson is just a guy. He was so quick and he'd hit you. But Bo, his hands were like twice the size of mine. He would just. He had real heavy hands, And I think a lot of guys say he should have been one of the greatest fighters ever. Just he had some issues.
Just up here.
Yeah, good guy. Still keep in touch with him, but he's just, he was crazy.
Let's have him on the show.
Yeah. Oh boy, that'd be fun.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fun.
Try to reach out to him. We'll have
him
him on.
Alex Wallow? Remember Alex Wallow?
No.
He was a big time sportscaster for Wild World of Sports, and he had throat cancer, and it was really sad. But anyway, he gave us a speech at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, how to handle ourselves during speeches, during interviews and everything. And so at the end of the speech, Bo said, "Hey, Alex, what's this?" And did like a headlock sign. He goes, "No, what's that?" He goes, "You in a headlock." I was like, "Oh my God, it was bad. Dude. It was bad." I was like, "Oh my God."
You've
it was not good.
You've always had some good stuff to say about Riddick Bowe. Some interesting stuff to say about Riddick Bowe.
He can fight.
Had some good stories about Riddick Bowe.
He can fight.
I don't know if some of you wanted to share on this show.
Nah, we probably won't go there.
Oh, we can.
Nah, we don't want to. How about those
eventually?
Yankees?
Yeah, how about those Yankees?
How about those Yankees? So real quick, just go over some birthdays of some guys this week. See if these are any guys that you know. So we got birthdays. Arnold van der Leide. Does that name ring a bell to you at all? Dutch boxer, Netherlands. He's birthday on the 24th. Joe Erskine. Erskine. Yeah. He's an older guy. Let's see. What about 1947 birthday, January 26th, Miguel Angel Castellini? Does that name ring a bell to you? No?
I'm doing good. I'm all
See,
for three.
I'm bringing out some guys
Dutch
here for
fighters. Yeah, Dutch are really known for their fighters.
John Tate, January 29th, 1955.
Sad story about John. So I think for me, it was the most one-sided fight I've ever seen. John Tate fought Mike Weaver, and Tate was winning every round, literally 14 rounds. And Weaver knocked him out at the final round. It was crazy. He knocked him out. And then Weaver, the rumor was Weaver stripped his wife. It was terrible. She left with him.
There's that word again.
Yeah.
Oh, he likes that word.
Strip.
I like it.
It's Yiddish for having intercourse.
What?
I'm glad you explained it.
What is what are you were talking to Johnny that one day? What is it they call you? That the Asians call you? what was it called?
I have no idea.
Remember we were saying it. It was like, oh, it's like asshole.
No, it was Gagu.
Yeah,
Gagu Lou. Yeah.
Gagu Lou.
Yeah.
And then
is that asshole?
No.
What is it? It's what? Dummy.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And then one hung low.
That's what Johnny said.
One hung low.
It's correct. That's what the Chinese call me.
Oh, man. Welcome to Lights Out, y'all. We're here with Lou Savarese at his gym, Savarese Fight Fit over here in Bel Air in Houston, Texas. Man, thank you all for paying attention. We only got a few more minutes here, so let's get some more in, Grant, and then we'll do a wrap-up.
Yeah, well, just a few more. We had January 30th, we've got a death of Luis Salika, American flyweight boxer, Olympic bronze medal in 1932. Does that name ring a bell to you? No, he's an American boxer. And Moseo Oba, a Japanese boxer.
Yeah.
No?
No, I've heard of him, yeah.
You heard of him?
Yeah, he was a beast. My manager down in Galveston was a huge fan of his.
Yeah. He died in a car accident, 23 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
When was that?
1973.
Hey, Lou, Philip Brady said, Steve Murphy said you're soft.
No, listen, Stephen Murphy's angry at me since we were kids because in wiffle ball I had the greatest riser ever and he couldn't hit it. That's why. That's it. That's all he's mad about.
That's it?
Yeah, he couldn't hit my riser and my curve.
I love to have all these people that know you on here. This is awesome. This is great. Bring it on. I love this stuff. This is great.
Brady was a decent basketball player. He's a good-looking guy, too, but I heard he's bald now, so that's great.
Well,
I like that when the guys lose hair.
We'll see. Anything else, history, or are we done with all the history?
No, man, that's it.
All right. We'll go back to a little bit of recap what we did. We went over Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao, which
that's going to be interesting. I mean,
hopefully it's not an exhibition.
I hope not. That's the only.
That's what it says.
It said that. Or
Yeah.
It says
well,
that?
I mean, it's not a signed deal yet.
What's the rationale behind that? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that it doesn't go on your record. But why would you? I mean, to me, it just takes so much allure away from the fight.
And now it's Ron's dad, Henry Garcia, that's saying this supposedly.
And then a fight that everybody's looking forward to, and I know that you're looking forward to because it's your weight class, Joshua and Fury. They're gonna fight in May or June.
That'll be interesting. And it's going to be in the Middle East, you said.
Yeah, they're looking at Dubai over there, stuff like that. Now, I don't know how the COVID stuff's going to go. Hopefully, look, if we're allowed to have fans, I would think Vegas. That's the draw.
No. You know what happens though? I don't know if you noticed, but so what happens is they put it out to purse bid. So whoever, even if it was the COVID was over, whoever gives the most money, that's where they're going to go.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
So Dubai's
going to win that.
Yeah, no, then that's where we'll go. That's
for sure.
Yeah, they put it out to a purse bid.
Teofimo Lopez, and it wasn't George Lopez. Maybe it is they've been ordered to fight by the IBF. Klitschko is making a comeback. It's Vlad.
That's
Vlad
crazy.
Klitschko.
Wait, he was married to a hottie, man. What was her name? Wait,
how would I know?
Klitschko, come on, it was a famous actress.
That's Grant Job. I don't know.
Do you know
I think I know who you're talking about. Hayden Pintieri.
That's it. Good job.
Yeah.
Damn! Wow! Look at
That's why I'm here.
He didn't Google either.
No.
I can promise you. That was good.
No.
Yeah, Ricky Hatton's son.
Are they still married?
Huh?
Are they still married?
I am.
Oh,
Happily.
Oh, not you. I'm talking about
Very happily.
I don't care about you. I'm talking about Klitschko and
I don't know.
Pintieri.
I don't know.
Can you Google that, please?
Yes, I'll do that right now, sir.
You got Ricky Hatton's son coming to make a debut, and he's going to be in the Canelo card. So
Okay,
the
that'd be
Canelo
cool.
fight, Canelo Alvarez and Avery Yildirim, they're fighting February 27th.
I loved Hatton, man. He was a character, man. He was a funny dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's excited about his son getting going.
I think he's like 300 pounds now. They call him Ricky Fatton.
Ricky Fatton. Whoa. Floyd Mayweather's image got added to the WBC belt. I mean...
I don't see a problem with that. Mayweather's one of the greatest fighters
I think so
ever,
too.
man.
But I think people have a problem with his antics, right? Like his off the or outside of the ring antics. Like they just have an issue with it. But I don't, man. If you can fight, you can fight. And
I mean that's a tough one. I mean, if
I make a comparison to him like Michael Jordan, because when Jordan got older, he had to adapt. Like so he created the fadeaway jumper, right? And so as Floyd Mayweather got older, he just learned how to play better defense.
No, absolutely. Good point.
And like people are mad because he doesn't knock people out all the time, but go to his earlier fights.
Yeah, he's so smart too. I mean that's the hand is quicker than the eye. Roy Jones, and I talked about this before, but Jones got hit more in his last 5 fights than did his whole career, probably amateur and pro, because he wasn't smart, he just felt too confident that he could keep his hands down. But just a fraction of a second. That's what makes, the difference between the hand is quicker than the eye.
All right, well, look, everybody, it's 9 o'clock. Our hour is up. I want to thank Lou Savarese and especially Savarese Fight Fit and Johnny J, Grant Miles, Jeff Michael. We're going to do this every single Wednesday.
Anymore, by the way.
Oh, they're not?
Oh, man.
So she's available.
How old is she?
She's available.
How old is she?
She is 31.
That's it?
That's how old was she married?
That's what it says. It says she's 31.
No way.
That's what it says. That's what it says right there. Born in 1989.
Oh, she was. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, she was young back then.
Yeah.
So
and he was.
She's available.
She's tiny.
Yeah,
he's
little.
huge.
Can you say shish kebab? Jeez. Sorry.
So, all right. Want to sit here and I want to thank everybody for paying attention. Guido, especially Guido. Thank you.
That's what it says.
But we do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. You'll have Lou Savarese, myself, and Grant Miles on Lights Out with Lou. And man, thank y'all for paying attention. We'll have it up on the podcast tomorrow. But until next week, we're out of here.
Don't scream, don't shout. Come on over to Lights Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't care. We don't swear.
Love it.